Look at us, travelling in style in a confessions mobile, tearing down the road with epic background music, within the speed limit of course. My Recon team planned to take me through what is probably a spot where many people have came close and even travelled past, but failed to realise the secrets that were hidden in plain sight. Our trek started at Sia Im car park and our marker was a 100-year-old kapok tree. We had to squeeze through a break in the fence that required me to go on a strict diet for 2 weeks prior. The first spot of interest is a small bunker that was once used by the British military for POW imprisonment or equipment storage, but is now a site for paranormal enthusiasts to practice their investigative skills. Coming here again today, we see what seems like a ritual circle being set up. There are powder, candles, placed in a very distinct circular fashion. Could be one of a few things. The energy that I'm feeling in this place, it almost seems like whoever came here was to partake in a courage test more so than to conjure up anything. Some supernatural groups must have came here, sat down, put candles around, and from look at the length of the candle, you can tell that they did not really complete their courage test and they have left. So what has caused them to leave this place in a rush? I don't know, but maybe we should come back and find out more. Do our own courage test. And we'll put Chichi in a circle this time. Taking a romantic sunset walk through the wilderness towards our next hidden location, the defunct Keppel Reservoir. It's fairly accessible by a quiet road that is a hot spot for couples to have a friendly conversation in the backseat of the car. The reservoir is serene as it is eerie. It exudes a macabre sense of calmness of something lying in wait to claim its next victim. We had to find a mature way to determine which of us is going down to the waters to explore. We're gonna go down to the water. Loser, we're gonna play a game. Loser goes to the water. Okay? Oape asom. Ready?
Okay.
Okay. Oape asom. Oape asom. Oape asom. Sonia, you get to go in.
I wouldn't recommend this for everyone. There's a reason there are no swimming signs here, and it's general knowledge among the hiking community not to jump in, not to swim. There have been several deaths in this area, and it's likely because this reservoir is littered with all sorts of debris. Ropes, fallen trees, branches. In 1936, there were 2 soldiers that died here. They were with the Middlesex Regiment. And again, in 1948, a little boy, 17 years old, he passed away here as well. So 3 deaths in this reservoir. Nothing about the reservoir before 1906. That's when we estimate the reservoir to be here. Am I going to jump in? Hell no! I'm not doing it. So that's all you're getting, boys.
And then the grueling climb begins. The team scaled the steep incline of Mount Faber, or Telok Blangah Hill as it was once called. And somewhere along the way, between asking myself, why are we doing this, and are we there yet, we arrive at a red brick structure and a flight of man-made stairs in the middle of nowhere.
Okay, as you can see, the foundation in front of me, it used to be Komodo Ikasa house. Okay, this is what part of his foundation.
Foundations to his house, right?
Yes. As we go further up, you can see the staircase that go all the way up to his house.
Yeah.
The stairs led up to a lonely shrine surrounded by forest, erected by the Imperial Japanese Navy for a civilian engineer named Komodo Akasa. He died in July 1942, just 4 months after he arrived due to overwork. Why Komodo had the special treatment to be buried alone here is unknown. And from there, we climbed up some more, where we found an outcrop to rest and pose for the camera. just so amazing that hidden in plain sight when everyone's just walking past is a tunnel that leads to God knows where.
Yes. It leads to the other side of Faber Hill. This is one built by the British, and it's locked now. You can see there's a no entry sign by NParks, but it does tunnel through the hill, and the other entrance is on the other side where it is also locked. Yes, it goes very deep in. Come have a look.
Come and take a look.
Come.
Nightfall approaches. Our final stop was the Marang cemetery that existed for over 2 centuries, containing over 200 tombs. The site is now overgrown with vegetation, and many of the tombs have been overtaken by nature. According to rumors, people chose to come here to perform disrespectful rituals because it's one of the surviving cemetery that's hidden in plain sight.
Okay guys, as you can know, this is the oldest cemetery in Singapore. It's dated 1866. It's the grave of the father of Mr. Marang, father of the head of the village. Yes.
I see. That was the oldest village in Singapore, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it was built in the 1800s.
1800s, yes.
And then the longest lasting one as well. It was in 1983 that a fire wiped out the entire village.
We wipe out all the entire village.
Yes. This cemetery is in a state of ruin right now because all the trees that are surrounding have fallen and caused some of the tombs to break. Do we still have descendants here?
Yes, this.
And do they come and visit?
On my right hand side is Mr. Marang himself, the grave of Mr. Marang, chief of the village.
So this is father of the chief?
Yes.
And that's chief? Yeah, but I noticed that within the plot itself there is more than one headstone. Is it because there's more than one person that's it's usually one person?
Yes.
See what happened?
Okay, as you can see on my hand, there's a ghost box. Okay, this is where we communicate with all the spirits. Actually, when I'm inside alone, I did try to communicate with them. Okay, so I just asked as a normal question, do you want to communicate with us? So are you here with me? But there's no response. So when I converse it in Malay, when I say kamu mau berbicara dengan saya,
Do you
then
want to speak to me?
all of a sudden, yes, all of a sudden there's a voice coming out. Yeah, it's a girl voice. So I try to confirm again. Do you want kamu mau berbicara dengan saya juga?
Do you want to speak to me?
Yes. And he say yeah again. So I try to confirm again. I ask her, so berapa banyak entity kah yang ada di tepi-tepi saya?
How many entities are there around us?
And she say 9. She say 9.
Which is 9.
So that's where I just I went out.
You asked her to communicate, then you hang up on her.
I will go again.
But does she want to say something? Does she want to
That's why
message?
when after she said there's nine entities around me, so I asked, do you have any message? There's no response at all. So that's why I started to just start it off. Went out.
Here's a question, right, Chi? Do you want to solo in there and mic you up?
Okay.
And we just put static cam, right? We light like this. Chi solo in there and try to get some information.
Can.
Okay?
No response. I think you'll just leave me. You just leave me here alone first. Okay guys, this is when I'm alone, isolated in a cemetery and try to communicate with the spirit through ghost box. After a couple of questions asked and gotten faint reply from the ghost box, the air around me suddenly turned cool and humid, accompanied by an overwhelming sense of dread and the feeling of being watched by something that cannot be seen. In the dark, I can sense that there are this big, tall black shadow watching over me, but the more I concentrate on it, the more further it goes. Guess it's time for me to end the communication through the spirit box. Maybe next time I will try to blindfold my eyes and communicate through the spirit box for better results.
Mel? Mel? Are you okay? So this walk from Xiaoying Bunker up Mount Faber is, well, apparently it's not an easy trek according to Mel. But it is. When we walk along the streets, smiling and typing on our phone, sometimes we fail to see what's hidden in plain sight. And right here in Mount Faber, as we have showed you today, starting from Xiaoying Bunker, right beside the car park, up the hill to a tomb of a Japanese engineer. Going up further, we even see a reservoir where they claim 3 lives. All this is hidden within this environment and place where it's known to be a touristy spot. We see cable cars, we see beautiful sunset, but do you open your eyes enough to see what's really hidden beneath the land? And that's what SC Recon is about, to bring you these stories, bring all the past back to life and entertain you. We hope that you have learned something and you've seen it through a different lens. For SC Recon, I'm your host, my name is Eugene Tay. We'll see you next time. What did you find? You are listening to Supernatural Confessions.